doing, man. I think this is amazing. I think when people start doing things like this is what we got to pay attention to. I feel like we got a lot of energy towards a lot of other things right now going on in the world.
Yeah.
Outside, of course, things that's happening with the weather, but outside of that, what we tied into, this is important, man. This is important. So I want to commend you first of all for doing this.
No doubt, man. I appreciate it, man. So, Dave, let me tell you where I got the concept from, man. One of my favorite books is by an author named Dennis P. Kimbrough. And
Mm,
Dennis P. Kimbrough wrote a book called What Makes the Great Great. And in this
mm,
particular book, man, it's him doing interviews. It's a collection of interviews with a bunch of powerful, successful people, and they're just telling their story. And
mm.
oftentimes, man, I get people that will kind of give me kudos for the success that I've had in my life,
Right,
but I tell them there's a
right,
blueprint to
right,
success. There's a
right.
strategy, and there's symmetry that every successful person has, and it's
Mm,
tenacity, it's that fortitude.
right.
For some, it's faith. And so, what I said I want to do is, I want to, for the whole month of October, I'm going to bring in some very inspirational, very powerful, impactful people. And I want to do an autopsy into your mindset, your thought process. Because listen, the book that I read, I know everybody may not believe like we believe, but the
Right.
Bible says that we are to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. And I
Yes.
think one of the things that keep people stagnant is their mindset. All right.
Right.
And so I've been following you for a long time, man. Let me
Mhm.
just say this, bro. I want to say this at one brother to another. When I was going through some of my toughest times, I used to
Yes.
watch you on TikTok, right?
Wow.
Even
Wow.
even though I had your phone number
Right.
and I knew I could pick up the phone, man, sometimes I would get on TikTok and just some of your videos on TikTok, man, would just
Wow.
encourage me and inspire me, man. And so I said, man,
Wow.
I gotta have this brother on, man. I gotta talk
Wow.
to him, man, and I gotta
Wow.
introduce him to the people that
Humble.
may not know him. And so listen, I want to take the time right now to give the floor to you. I want you to introduce yourself. It could be formal, informal,
Yeah.
just so you know I'm gonna have fun tonight.
Yeah.
You know I'm a little crazy.
Yeah. I
And so
got you.
just prepare yourself.
Yes,
So
sir.
this, kind of the format, we're gonna be a little serious. We're gonna dig
Yeah.
into some mental health and some of your
Of course.
story, and then I may get a little toxic at the end. Who knows? But go
Yeah.
ahead, David.
Hey, it's all good. I love it, brother. I love it. Yeah, man. Well, listen, guys. David Powertalk. Anybody that's new on here right now, you have not heard of me. The first time you hearing my voice right now. Certified motivational speaker. You know, your pain is your power. We're gonna get into that. Ooh, we're gonna get into that. But I'm really about mental health. Really about the mindset. Really understanding that you cannot be stuck where you are right now. But I understand you may feel that way. But we're gonna tap in some things that help you to get out of that stuck season to get into that winning season, right? And understand how powerful you are, how grateful you are, right? So I've been speaking over almost 10 years right now. Certified speaker on Dr. Eric Thomas. I love what I do. I love pouring into people. I love just spreading the word. I love allowing God to use me as a vessel. I'm gonna say this again. I love allowing God to use me as a vessel because it's so crazy. I know you can contest to this. It's like every time you speak, like you got your framework, you prepare, and then 20% of whatever you prepare for is out there. The other 80 is whatever God wants you to say and how he wants you to say it. So that's how I know that I was chosen to do this. And a lot of people watching this right now, you might have been picked working at Amazon. You might have been picked, working at Verizon, but you was chosen for something so much greater. And if you feel like you're in a season right now where you just like in a transition, it's okay. It's okay, but be grateful for that transition because that's what's going to elevate you to your transformation. But we're going to get in that too. So yeah, man, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, um, husband, father, kids. You know how it is, man. I just coach, mentor. Now author, working on my first book right now, actually, which is great. So I can't wait, man. I can't wait, brother. And thank you again, man, for having me on here, brother.
Man, listen, it's always a joy, brother. And so, man, I wanna dig right into it, man.
Yes.
Man, you are one. Listen, I'm pretty inspirational. Okay, I'm pretty motivational. But man, you
Right.
are one of the most genuine, authentic,
Wow.
motivating, inspiring brothers, man. And I think one of the things I want to start off, whenever I have a brother on, I like to always give them their flowers, man, for people to
Mm.
see that two brothers can be on similar paths
Yes.
and not compete, but we can
Yes.
collaborate. I can
Yes.
celebrate your success. Um, Big shout out to my brother Carlton Young, Mr. I am 8020, who was my
Mm.
second guest last night. Monday we had Laterris Whitfield, who is
Wow.
the founder of the Dear Future Wifey podcast. We have Miss Monica Morton, who is the #1 private investigator in the country, man. She
Wow.
lit it up. And I just want to shower you with the same amount of flowers, man. We appreciate you, brother.
Well, listen, same way you appreciate me, brother, I know I appreciate you. I'm giving you flowers because of what you have done and what you're doing. And dynamic speaker, dynamic communicator, dynamic coach, brother. So same to you, brother. The flowers, everything to you, brother. Thank you so much for what you do.
No doubt, man. I appreciate it, man. So, David, man, let's jump right into it, man. And you know, it's funny that you talked about the 80-20. Now that I'm on here with you, man, I feel kind of led to do something different. And I had a feeling we was gonna go this direction,
Right.
but I want to talk about the importance of mental health.
Mm,
I want to talk about the importance of mental health as you
mm,
try to level up.
right.
Because what I've discovered,
Right.
right, and this is just
Right.
me personally. I'm every time I get on here, I feel like I'm confessing some things,
Right.
right? Like it's a confession
Right.
session.
Right.
But
Right.
what I learned is that there is a direct correlation between the way that you handle money and success
Mm,
and your unresolved childhood trauma.
mm,
There's a direct correlation
mm,
because I know for me, I found myself as I leveled
right.
up, I leveled up financially,
Right.
I leveled up as far as influence.
Right.
But the reality is, a lot of times, what was driving that car was still a broken little boy. It
Yes.
was
Yes.
still a little boy who felt unworthy. This will blow some people's mind. As robust and as much bravado as I have, the reality is when the lights was off, the camera was off, I was by myself.
Mm,
I felt unworthy.
mm,
I didn't feel like I was good
mm,
enough.
mm,
And Carlton said something, man, that really sparked this conversation. He said the problem sometimes is that
mm-hmm.
that as much as God has for us,
Right.
we
Right.
sometimes don't like what we see when we look in the mirror.
Ooh. Powerful.
And so and
Powerful.
so I want to throw that alley up to you, man, because I know that's kind of your wheelhouse, man. Talk to me, David,
Yes.
about, man, loving yourself and how maybe unresolved trauma as a man. Listen,
Mm,
y'all, send this video out.
mm,
Listen, before he gets started,
mm.
I want everybody watching to do me a favor. There's a little
Right.
thing that looks like an airplane to the right of your screen. I want you to share this with 10 people,
Yes.
specifically men, because I believe that some chains are going to break tonight. I believe some doors are going to open, and we're going to help some people learn how to level up. All right. Take some time, send it out. We ain't asking for no offering to buy nothing. I just want you to send this out to as many men as you possibly can. David,
Right.
man, you got it, man. Talk to me, brother.
Good. I'm glad you said that, man. And mental health is everything. I do believe, like you said, there is some underlying trauma that we have not addressed, we have not fully talked about or fully healed from, that is connected with our level of success, our level of finances, our level even relationships, even the way how we view ourselves and others, and how others view us, how we think others view us, right? And when I say that is because, first of all, thank you for saying, I heard you talking about, you heard me speak and things like that. Like, what if I told people on this live, I have many speeches, right? I mean, I have went on a stage, blew it down. I get in my car. This is true. Everybody pay attention. I get in my car and I feel empty. I feel like I just something. It's like I do understand the saying, when you pour so much into other people and into the environment, now you feel depleted a little bit. I do realize that, but what I'm saying is that I still wasn't feeling fulfilled. I wasn't feeling as if I was wanted or the value was truly there. Even though people came up to me, Power Talk, that was amazing, great message. Thank you so much. I needed that message, and I was just driving home, and it was just like something still wasn't resolved. Like, even though I helped everybody else, even though I spoke and everybody was in tears and everybody was like, I needed that. I'm driving back and I'm saying to myself, something is wrong, right?
Yeah.
And I want to say that now that you said that, I do realize it's also some of the trauma that we have been through. Maybe you was the black sheep of the family. Like, for instance, with me, like, my mother and my father both was addicted to drugs. So I came from a very big, like, Tyler Perry family, right? So while my mother and father both addicted to drugs, is that I felt like both sides of the family was like looking at us like the problem child, the problem, sister or brother, based on their siblings, based on everything. So when we went to family gatherings or things was happening, I'm bouncing from one trailer to another trailer, living with a grandmother, father not around, mom in rehab, then dad in rehab. So all these different things, dad getting arrested, mom. So all these different things is happening. So now I realize that it's tied into some of the things we already experienced. So now you sit in the room with family, people laughing and people loving you and caring for you. But at the same token, you still feel like you the black sheep. You still feel like your value's not there. You still feel like people are just picking apart any little thing that you do, right? So I'm glad you said that because, see, with mental health, it really about a lot of things that we have not fully healed from, and a lot of things we allow to conquer our mind and our thoughts. And we sit back and we overthink it. We sit back and we just go through the whole scenario all over again. But some of it is not even the actual thought of it. It's just that it's that trauma in the back that we haven't even touched,
Right.
that we don't even realize is there,
Right.
But that's why some of the things that we're doing is actually happening is because we have never went back and healed from that. We never talked about it, right? So you get a lot of men and women that's overconfident, right? That is feels like they alpha, lion, like they're the one, the leader, the mentor. But sometimes they're the ones that's been broken the most.
Come on, man.
No, I'm gonna say this because I know there's a saying in the Bible: "Heavy the head, to wear the crown." Right? So you get a lot of mentors, myself, like you the leader. You everybody looking for you to solve the problem, but you're the one that's kind of broken the most. You're the one with the pieces still cracked, and you're still trying to seam it together. Your foundation got many cracks in it, and as you heal one crack, another one pops up, another hairline crack pops up, right? But you still got to hold this house together.
Right.
You still got to have mentees or people in the conference or people that's looking up to you, people like that's seeing your video. You know how many times, true story, I have made a video and put it on TikTok or IG, and I'm in the middle of my own storm.
Come on, man.
No, like I'm in the middle of my own storm. Could be family, could be financial, could be my luck, anything. Kids, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me let this out to the world. Let me let this out to the world. Like this one video I did it about, I think like it just went crazy viral. And I said, dear Lord, anybody that type amen and share this video, can you please answer a prayer that they've been praying for? Because I know it's something that they're struggling with. I know it's something that they're dealing with that they haven't told nobody about. But it's heavy on their mind, their body, and their spirit. And when I did that, it's because I know there's a lot of times, there's a lot of men, maybe women also too. When you walk in that house, you got to act like everything is okay.
Right.
You got to act like ain't nothing wrong. Or when you walk on stage, or when you on that panel, whatever you doing, no, you got it all figured out, right? So there's a lot of times where we've got to put that mask on, that poker face on. But there are some things that we haven't told nobody about. There's some things we haven't talked about. There's some things we haven't shared with nobody, or we don't feel like we got the right person that we really can share the information with. Because there's a point in my life I have shared information with somebody that I love or I trusted, and they turned around and used it against me. Turned it around and use it to hurt me again. So what happens is that now you get a man that's closed in. You get a man that don't want to share deep thoughts or things that he could be dealing with because he had a trauma that I trusted you. I gave you some information that I really want us to share together to help me in my situation. But when things wasn't right, you end up using it against me. So what happens? Now you don't want to talk about it. Now you don't want to keep everything to yourself. And that's really it's crazy that you asked that, because even me talking about it, like there was a point I was an angry speaker. I'm gonna be honest with you. There was a point I felt like, when I say angry, I felt like I couldn't control I could, but I couldn't control the energy and the passion that I had coming out. Somebody was like, I need you to smile more. I need you to laugh more, Power Talk. Like, you know? And I realized because it was an outlet for me to release some things I had built up. And I had to realize that I got to heal first before I try to heal others.
So, man, I want to talk to you about, because you just said some powerful things, man. Listen, you guys, if you're just joining, I see a lot of people joining, popping in and out, man. Welcome to. I see my good friend Bishop Greg Davis is here. My good buddy Jared is here. I just pinned his comment. Welcome to the Level Up series. Listen, man, you said something that's so key, man, and I pinned Jared's comment because he summed it up. That sometimes as men we suffer in silence. But I think one of the keys to leveling up is that we have Bishop Eddie Long said this long time ago. One of my favorite messages. He said sometimes you have to lead while you're bleeding, right? And I think what we've done, we've glorified leading while bleeding, but I think also just as much as we glorify leading while bleeding, we should also glorify taking the time to heal. We should also glorify taking that time to pull back and say, you know what? The truth of the matter is, what I experienced in my childhood, though I don't want to admit it, it is impacting how I'm showing up as a man.
Oh, yeah.
It impacts how I show up as a husband. It impacts how I show up as a father. It impacts how I deal with money. If I felt rejected as a kid, then the reality is the worst thing I can do as an adult is get money, because then I start buying approval. I start buying acceptance. I start buying opportunity versus realizing that I'm enough. But when you've been broken as a child, and the reality is if you don't do the work, you're still a broken adult. And you're a broken adult trying to keep things together, which is hard because you've broken yourself. And so, and so before I celebrate a bunch of men for leading while bleeding, I just want some men to know it's okay to pull back and say, man, let me deal with this, man. Because the reality is I keep leaving a trail of brokenness behind me. And the true indicator is that the reality is I'm broken myself. And it's okay to admit that. It's okay to admit that I've been angry. It's okay to admit that maybe I didn't make all the best decisions. And so, man, I love what you're saying, brother. And so let me ask you a question, because you said you've been speaking, right, helping other people. And this is where I really wanted to park at, Carlton. The brother said that I would help other people and walk off the stage and still feel broken inside and still feel empty inside. Man, I want you to talk about that a little bit more, because I've experienced that myself.
Yes. And I'm glad you asked me that, man, because you know what it is? It's almost the same thing when you say we buy all these things to show the world that we're making it or we're doing okay because of things we went through in our childhood, right? Pay attention. Anybody watches live, pay attention, right? So what happens is that now when you speak, you have to show so much of authority, so much of a great communicator, so much of somebody that got it all figured out, somebody that's going to give you the words, somebody that's going to give you a different perception of how you should see things, how you should see yourself. And we're going very deep into teaching and coaching and speaking. And then what happens is that as you pour so much out, you realize that the things that you were saying was really meant for you.
Come on, man. Come on.
No, the things that you were saying was really meant for you. I remember there was a segment that I spoke at one event, and I said that I remember when I was living with my grandmother and we used to go out to the garden, and I used to watch her all the time. She used to water the flowers in the garden, and then there was one spot where she didn't water. She missed it, and I ran up real quick and I grabbed the little handle, the thing she used, with the thing on like the sunflower with the pour the water over it, and I started to water it. And she grabbed my hand. She said, don't you water that? I said, why not? She said, those are weeds. She said, we don't water the weeds. We water the flowers. And a lot of times in our life, we wake up in the morning, we don't water our flowers first. We're watering the weeds. We're watering the things that we don't need to nurture, things we don't need to put light or water on. We need to put light and water on the flowers in our life. And I realized that some of the weeds in our life are just bad habits, bad company, people that is around us that we gotta set boundaries that they can no longer come in this next season of our life. And they said we have over what 50,000 thoughts a day. They said we visit those thoughts twice a day, and 70 to 75% of those thoughts are negative thoughts. So we're having more negative thoughts than positive thoughts. So that means we're watering out weeds more than watering out flowers. And I realized that feeling so empty inside, it's almost like you hear a good sermon and it breaks you down in tears, and you leaving that church like, man, I know I gotta, this is it. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk in faith. I know what I'm gonna do. Yep. Whatever I don't understand, I'm not gonna lean. Yes, God, I trust you. I'm gonna walk. Yes, I know what I'm gonna do. Right. So it's the same. It's the same thing when I speak so much life into other people, is that now I sit back and I realize that the message was also meant so much for me. Yeah. And then I just feel so empty because I know that what I'm speaking about, some of the things are not resolved yet inside of me.
No, that's good, man. Listen, man, I had that happen. I had that happen, David, probably about 2 months ago. It was a video that I released on TikTok that went viral, and I was talking about how the wilderness is not punishment, but the wilderness is preparation. And the truth of the matter is, if you don't properly process the wilderness, you'll feel like God is punishing you. And I juxtapose it to the fact that right after the Bible says that John the Baptist baptized him, God says, "This is my son in whom I'm well pleased." And the next step was he was sent to the wilderness. And I talked about the contradiction from being endorsed by heaven, but then forced into the wilderness. And sometimes when you find yourself in the wilderness, you're like, yo, this is punishment. But it's not punishment, it's preparation.
Yes.
And I had to remind myself, I had to encourage myself, David, with my own video to remind myself that whatever your wilderness is, it's not always punishment. Sometimes it's simply God saying, let me go and solidify you. Let me isolate you. Let me build you up. Let me encourage you. Let me get you accustomed to hearing my voice and not the world's voice. And then when I bring you out of this thing, you're going to be so much better. And so I completely understand, man, that anybody that is a speaker, you understand that when God speaks through you, that most time the message that he speaks through you is actually for you first. It's for you first. But anyway, so that's good, Dave. Listen, y'all share this out. If y'all enjoyed this conversation, put a fire emoji in the chat. If you're enjoying what we're talking about today, put a fire emoji in the chat. I'm telling y'all, we just getting started. Dave, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Another thing too, I tell people, people always say, why always say your pain is your power? Because I've been through so many painful moments in my life. I had no choice but to turn my pain into my power. And like you probably heard one of my videos or me speaking. It said over 1.7, 2 million people a year try to commit suicide. Right?
Yeah.
I was one of them.
Wow.
I was one of them people that was in a dark place in a garage, bottle pills and some water right there, about to take my life. But what I realized is that in that moment, God allowed the version of me that I didn't need no more to perish, but he birthed David Powertalk. He birthed a true man of God. He birthed a believer. He birthed somebody to say, if I can get out of this dark moment and start walking towards the light, not only heal myself and work on me, but help other people and share my story with the world.
Come on.
I said, oh my God,
Yeah.
that's the true definition that your pain is your power. But a lot of times what we do, we actually put the power in our pain. We put the power in depression, the power in anxiety, the power in procrastination, the power in childhood trauma. We are putting too much energy, too much power into those negative things, into those things in your life that don't deserve purpose in your life, don't deserve purpose on your mission right now. I believe everybody watching this and hearing this right now, you are born for a purpose, by purpose, to help somebody else out for their purpose. But in order to do that, you must first understand whatever pain point you've been through or going through, it's only meant for you to be more powerful. And that's what I think that's really is the core of my message, the core of David Power Talk is just really because I've been through so many different pain points between childhood trauma, losing everything, getting it all back, just every avenue of pain that you can think about, right? I probably experienced, right? Mentally. that I had to go through, even trauma, even, just dealing with a broken heart, just, dealing with a broken spirit. Like it's the different things when you're like financially broke and you spiritually broke and you mentally broke. Like I was broke,
Come
right?
on, man.
Look,
Come
I
on.
was broke. So when you come up from broke to be blessed, that's a whole different
So,
concept.
Dave, what I want to do, man, I want to park the car right there for a moment,
Mm,
right? Because the concept of this whole series is because there is somebody that is watching this that is right there now.
mm,
They're in a pain point in their
yep,
business. They're in a pain point in their marriage. They're in a
yep,
pain point with their children. They're in
mm-hmm,
a pain point financially. And I want to park just for a moment, and I want to talk about that pain because you
right,
said you were sitting in the garage and you was about to make a decision. Can you talk
yeah,
a little bit about that
mm-hmm,
pain? Because I believe if we can show people
yeah,
the pain,
yeah,
then it makes them appreciate the power that you're walking in now.
yeah. This was probably, um, I mean, I was at like the top in my company. Like I was making seven figures. I mean, houses, the cars, you name it. I was traveling all over the world. I mean, I was all over Paris, I was over London, I was all over Spain, I was everywhere. This was before I became a speaker, and then I had a tremendous downfall. I mean, lost everything. Right? I had to file Chapter 7. Couldn't even make payroll. I was just embarrassed because, mind you, like you said, I'm showing everybody I made it. Look at me, little boy from the trailer park. Look at me. That's right. I'm doing everything right, and now I'm doing everything wrong. Right? So there was a phone call that happened that I knew I had to make a decision, and I didn't really want to face it the next day. I didn't want to face, you know, that that call. I didn't want to face that reality to say yes. I am financially wiped out right now. I don't know what to do. And I remember going down to my garage, and this is crazy because I was already spiraling out of control. I actually went to Home Depot and bought a rope. So I bought a rope. I went to my garage, had the car running, closed the garage, water. So I said something gonna take me out. I
Right.
said something gonna take me out, right? And I'm sitting there and I got tears in my eyes, man, and I'm just in the most difficult, painful moment of my life. But I think really what it wasn't even the financial burden that was on me. It wasn't even the embarrassment. Now that I really think about it, because I lost my mother to a heart attack. I lost my father stage 4 cancer, and I realized that by me having so much built up pain and trauma inside of me, is that I allow another broken moment to now reveal more brokenness that I just couldn't handle all that pain at once. So outside of me dealing with the actual thing that was hurting me, I realized it opened up other wounds
Mm.
that I haven't fully dealt with. And there were other things that now by me sitting in that dark moment, my mind was just not only thinking about that, but I'm thinking about my mom when she got rushed to the ER because she had a needle stuck in her neck. I'm thinking about my father wasn't there when he like it was so much trauma just coming like attacking me at one time. And I was sitting there. So I was say anybody that's listening to this live right now, and you might not be been in a David Powertalk moment where you wanted to really just say I'm done, but I really believe if you can talk to God more, He's really gonna wake you up and let you understand that you are meant for a purpose, and He needs you. Because I remember I was praying. I said, God, just talk to me, just talk to me, just talk to me, just talk to me. And my phone dropped, and I picked my phone back up, and it was a picture of my daughter on my phone. And I seen the picture of my daughter. I said, "What am I doing?"
Yeah. Yeah.
What am I doing? I said, materialistic things don't define you. I said, the most precious gift that we have is life. I said, God has given me life. Why am I taking advantage? Why am I throwing life away? Like, do you know people will be praying for my problems? Because with the ability, somebody that went from a trailer park, parents on drugs, get his degree in engineering, start his own company. So you got the ability to do it all over again. So anybody that's in a dark moment, you feel like you're a failure. You're not a failure. It was just a lesson.
Yeah.
And what I realized that moment, actually, once I got through it, it made me stronger. But I will say, yes, it was a weak moment. It was a dark moment. But when you have those dark and those weak moments, I need you to close your eyes. I need you just to pray. And then think about that you are grateful just to be alive. So don't even go into whatever is causing the pain. Whatever is the heartbreak, whatever is the financial issue, whatever is the family issue, don't soak in that, right? Don't soak in that. But focus on that whatever your name is. Say your name to yourself and say, David, I'm grateful. David Solomon, I'm grateful. See, my name is David Solomon. That's two great kings. God would not give me the name of two great kings if he knew he was not going to use me for something at a higher purpose.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm like, what am I doing? So don't get me wrong. Yes, I finally shook it off, man. I went upstairs, I took a shower, and I just I started back focusing on small things, one thing at a time. And I started to block the noise out. I'm gonna tell anybody right now, if you're dealing with any negative situation that's making you feel like, God forbid that you don't want to be here no more, or you just want to give up, or you want to stop doing what you're doing. Don't do that. You block that noise. You put your blinders on and you give it everything you got. Because now I look back at that moment, I look back where I'm at now. I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, really? What was I thinking? But I know what I was thinking. But now I realize that, I mean, look what I would have missed out on. I mean, look at how many, not me, but look how many lives I would have not helped or motivated on. Just the mere fact that you told me you was going through a dark moment and you was listening to my videos, even though you had my number, but it still helped you in the dark moment. So that's why I tell people, like, when I was went through that moment, what happened was God just released the bad version of me. He released the negative version of me, but he birthed the power of David Powertalk to be the person to help other people and help himself. Because I believe this, you can't get up on that stage and you can't talk that word if you have not lived through that word. Yeah. If you have not been through that word. If you have not almost crumbled or broken through that word, because people got to feel your pain. They got to feel that transformation. They got to feel your message. So when I speak, you're feeling the actual thing that I've been through, maybe going through, or came out of. But I'm showing you that it's living proof that no matter how bad it is, you're going to make it, queen. You're going to make it, king. You got to pick your head back up, and you got to get out that dark spot, and you got to go right to the light. So, man, that's really, how I just kind of like went through that transition, brother,
well, listen,
a little bit.
man, first of all, let me just say this, brother. Thank you so much for sharing that, right? Because, it's so easy for us to share the good things.
Right.
But it takes another level of strength and vulnerability to be honest and say, hey, man, I was in a broken space. But it's something that you said that I think that was so, I don't want to skate past that. Because you said when you was in your garage, you was dealing with the pain. But this pain opened up the fact that you had other pain that you hadn't dealt with.
Yep.
And I think I don't want to skate past that moment because can I say I've been there.
Right.
I've
Right.
been in the situation before where and actually I made a video about it. And I said, when I went through my divorce and it just seemed like everything was kind of happening at the same time, David. And it wasn't just the fact of the divorce and this, but it was the fact that these things were opening up the fact that this pain was familiar. That this pain was familiar. And one of the greatest mistakes we make as men is instead of dealing with the pain, we try to build on top of the pain.
Right.
We try to build things with a shaky foundation. Yep. Right. And so this moment was triggering the fact that this looks real familiar. This is a pain that I've seen before, right? This is, can I just be transparent for a moment, David?
Yes.
It was the pain of past rejection. It was the pain of past abandonment. And so it wasn't just this, this was connecting to this. And it made sense why I was spending all this money because I just wanted people to accept me. And sometimes God is saying, I don't know who this is for, but God is saying it's not about others accepting you, but I'm removing them from you so you can begin to love yourself. I'm separating you from those things so you can begin to see who you are. That you
Yes.
are David Solomon,
Right.
that you are Coach Shaq, that you are
Right.
Christy Chatham, that I said that I'll never leave you nor forsake you. And I think
Mm-hmm.
in that moment, Dave, in that moment, I've never shared this on live before, but I've been there before, where I was
Mm-hmm.
contemplating whether this life was worth living.
Mm.
And the reality is, the only reason I'm still here is because I looked at my children and I said,
Mm.
I don't want to let my kids down. And the pain that I'm feeling now, I don't want them to feel because of the
Mm.
decision that I made.
Right.
That was number one. But number two, Dave, I said to myself, if I take myself out today, I take away the opportunity for God to make me great tomorrow.
Mm.
If
Mm.
I quit today, I'm
Mm.
taking away the opportunities for God to show me that
Mm.
He is Jehovah Jireh, that He
Mm.
is Jehovah Nisi,
Mm.
that He is El Shaddai,
Mm.
that He is the beginning and the end, that He is.
Yes.
And so the reason that whoever's watching this video, you cannot
Mm.
quit is because God is a God of a quick work. God
Mm.
will bring a river out of a desert. God will make
Mm.
something happen in the blinking of an eye. And Dave Power Talk is an example of having every reason emotionally to give up, but instead of giving up, he leveled up.
Mm.
Instead of throwing in the towel, he come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Put a one in the chat if y'all celebrate the fact that David Power Talk did not give up, but he
Right.
said, God, I trust you, and I'm going to keep believing you. So, David, you didn't give up, and you made a decision in that garage that,
Mm-hmm.
hey, if I got to strip some stuff away from me, as long as it's me and God and His vision, I'm going to keep going, man. What was your next step, brother?
My next step was isolating the negative environments, the negative thoughts out of my life. Like I had to. It's like I felt like I was in a black ops mission, right? And it sounds weird a little bit, right? Like I'm like for instance, I like Navy SEALs and all that stuff. Like somebody, so I got a bell right here, right? That bell I got in my office. One of my mentees gave me that bell. So that bell is a Navy SEAL bell. So what happens, Navy SEALs, only 20-15% of them actually go through become a Navy SEAL by the time it's time to graduate. The other 80%, they actually just um they quit, right? Or 75% they quit or they give up, they tap the bell, right? So on that bell, I got never tap, right? Because if you tap the bell, that means you gave up. So they did a study. They said, what was the thing for the reason why the Navy SEALs that made it, how did they make it? What the ones that graduated? They said because of the company that they kept, the people they had around them was the ones that no matter how bad it got, no matter what they was going through, they kept motivating each other. They kept saying, come on, we got this. That's right, carry the boat. Come on, let's one step at a time. I know the water's cold. I know it's this. So even though I physically didn't have people around me, I mentally had people around me. Like really, like we no, we going out here. Like I mean, I'm dressing, it's like I was in war mode, and it was like I had to say I'm getting my life back on track, and I'm not doing it for somebody to see. I'm doing it so I can feel good myself, and I know that I matter and my value is there, and I know I can do it. And I'm gonna say this to everybody. I want everybody to say I'm smarter than this. Like just say to yourself, like I'm smarter
I'm
than this.
smarter than
So
this.
when I was making these mistakes, I'm like, I'm smarter than this. Like you could do better, but you got to eliminate some old habits, pick up some new habits. You got to be consistent. You got to be determined, and you got to be okay with being uncomfortable. See, a lot of us, we don't like that word uncomfortable. Oh, we don't like the uncomfortable feeling. We don't like them early mornings. We don't like them late nights. We don't like doing the things that we know that make us, just kind of go around a little bit that we wouldn't feel like doing. But those are the things that is needed for you to elevate. See, my pain promoted me to a different level. My pain gave me a promise that I knew that I was not going back where I came from. And I got this saying about burning the boats. I had to say to myself, am I going to burn the boats and only focus on plan A? And what's plan A? My plan A, well, no, it wasn't chasing the money now. It wasn't chasing the company. It was just making sure I was doing what God called me to do.
Come on.
Because see, what happens is this. If you take for granted the opportunity or the things he's given you, he will strip you down. And when he stripped me down, He built me right back up. But when he built me back up, he built somebody that now people can say, yes, I know what you've been through. I see what you're going through. But now by you sharing your story, by you still keep going, by me hearing what you're doing, or by me hearing your message or the words that you say, I feel better. I know I can do what I got to do. So my next step really was like literally every day was a mission, but it was a small mission. See, there's a thing. The reason why they send Navy SEALs over there, think about when they send them on there, it's only an elite group of men that they send over there for this one mission. But they got a whole army of other people that's in the Navy, right? But they only pick a certain few people that can do this. But guess what? They still got the same height, they got the same heart, they got the same lungs, got the same eyes. But what happens is their training is different. Their mindset is different, right? Like literally, it's the physical things you go through in the training. You can get through it if you don't allow your mind to break. See, they want to break your mind first. They attack your mind. So it's the same thing with negative thoughts, with the devil. The same way as how God know the plan that you want to do, the devil know it too. So therefore, he want to attack your mind first. So with me, I just blocked it out. I just told myself there is nothing that I can't do if I put my mind to it. There's nothing that's going to bring me down. I already been to the like I had to say to myself like I say, bro, you was in a trailer park watching your mom's having an overdose. Like you had to on Christmas Eve. Your grandmother told you couldn't live there no more. You had to live now in New Jersey with your other grandmother. Like you've been through so much in your life. You gonna allow this to break you down? Like you really gonna allow this to break
I
you
know.
down? Like you when your student advisor told you wasn't gonna graduate, you needed more credits, and he don't think you could do a full semester, a summer session, a winter session, and your senior project. But what did you do? You still did it. You still got your degree. You still graduated on time, and you was an RA, and you had a part-time job. So there's ways that we can get over the things that we feel like we can't do if we put our mind to it. So I just really put my mind to it, brother. And one thing I want to say to the people right now, even though I lost a lot of things, I never really truly lost my spirit and my mindset. And God showed me my true spirit and my true mindset.
I like that, man. Listen, you know, I love to hear brothers like you talk, man, because you said something that I kind of had to pause, but you said pain can be a promotion.
Mm.
Your pain was your promotion.
Yes, it
But then
was.
you said once you made a decision that you shall live and not die, once you made a decision that I've seen God allow me to overcome greater things than this, you said you started protecting your connections and you shifted
Mm.
your mind.
Yes.
Um, turn do me a favor. Somebody just type and say change your
Mm.
mind. Just put it there, change your mind. He
Yes.
said, I protected my connections. I changed the people I was connected
Mm-hmm.
to, and then I protected my intake because your intake oftentimes determines your
That's
output. And
right.
so I like that, man. And it's fascinating. You weren't even on here the other night, but I said that again, the Bible says that God will not put new wine
Mm.
into old wine skins.
Right.
And so I don't know why I've been saying this so much lately, David, but God dropped it in my spirit, man, that I cannot get the upgrade and still hold on to the outdated.
Mm.
Something's got to go.
Mm.
I got to get rid of the outdated information and
Mm.
prepare for the upgrade.
Mm.
I said, we got to stop standing at the tomb of what didn't work, and we got to get into the birth canal of what God is bringing to us in this next season.
Mm.
And so part of your leveling up process was overcoming your pain,
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging your trauma,
Yep.
acknowledging your pain, but making a decision to pivot from being a victim to being a victor
Yes.
by shifting your mindset and your connections. Did,
Yes.
did, I, did I summarize that properly?
You did it, brother. You put that all together. And one thing I want to tell everybody, what I realized what I was doing, I was knocking on new doors. I was trying to open up new locks with old keys.
Mm, mm,
And the old key I had was that old trauma, those old way of thinking. And a lot of us we wake up every day. And we like that janitor that got a ring of keys. And every key on there is an old key. And you don't need none of those keys.
yeah,
Because the new doors, the new locks that God got for you right now, none of those keys can open up those locks.
yeah,
He got a new key waiting for you. He's waiting for you, but he's not gonna give you that new key until you fully let go of those old keys. And a lot of times we're holding on to all these old keys, all these old memories, these old relationships, these old partnerships, these old collaboration, these old thoughts. We're holding on. And what happens every time you hold on, your key ring is just you adding more keys to your key ring. And you don't even realize it. And now they weighing you down. So now you get to a new blessing, you get to a new door, and you this close to that blessing. You this close of walking through that door, but you can't get through it because you trying that key, you trying that key, but you realizing you using the wrong keys. You're using the old keys. If you put down those old keys and you look to your left, there's a new key with your name on it that God wants you to open up. He said, "That's the key for you, Queen. That's the key for you, King." And that's what I had to realize is that I was holding on to um you know old memories, how people see me. I was holding on to what would they think about me. I was
Listen,
holding on to, no, I want to be back in that lifestyle. I was holding on to being a womanizer. I was holding on to, being a showboat. I was holding on to so many, because that's why, like, I used to throw huge 4th of July parties, Super Bowl parties. I mean, I was a president of a bike club. I had people all over my house coming over there. And I remember one Super Bowl, I said, I'm not going to do it. And I was waiting to see how many people was going to invite me to theirs, right? I didn't get that. So it showed me that you don't need people around you to make you feel fulfilled. I'm gonna say this again. You don't need people around you to feel fulfilled, for you to feel like you're valued or that you matter. God's gonna put the right people in your life at the right time. So therefore, I just realized, I was like, you know what? I just got to be very aware of who's in my environment and very aware who do I need with me to this next level of my life. Not saying I'm better than anybody, not saying no people are bad people, but what I'm saying is that people, you got to understand, yes, my pain did promote me, but as it promote me, there's people that now you got to fire. And a lot of you right now, you still got them on your team. You still got them around working with you or working around you, but you should have fired them a long time ago because they're not part of this. They're not part of this new accusation. They're not part of this new company. They're not part of this new journey that you're going right now. And I was holding on, and not to the physical people that was there. I was holding on to hoping that the people that was rooting, that I thought was rooting for me, is going to root for me again.
bro, bro, listen. I wish I literally just had this conversation. I said, man, in this season, listen, for those that was on here last night, I did a live last night. I just talked about this, that sometimes the very thing that is hindering us is the fact that we won't let go of the ghost of the past, right? We got this mother hen spirit that we want to take everybody with us, but the reality is everybody cannot go, man. And I'll be honest, that was one of the things that hindered me a very long time, is that I want everybody to come. I wanted everybody to come. I wanted everybody to be there. But Bishop Jake said something to me one time, man, that changed my life.
Mm.
He said, Corey, I realize that you give a lot of grace to people and you extend a lot of mercy to people. And he said, oftentimes people like you give to people what you wish somebody gave to you. You see that
Mm.
childhood trauma coming back up?
Wow. Wow.
You see that childhood trauma coming back up.
Wow.
I just wanted somebody to want me. I wanted to
Mm.
feel wanted. I wanted to
Mm.
feel needed.
Mm.
And so, although being connected to
Mm.
you was really hindering me,
Mm.
because as a consequence, I didn't want to let go of you because I thought letting go of you was going to make you feel how I really felt about myself. And I didn't realize that holding on to you was holding me down. I'm sorry, David. I may not be better than you, but I'm better without you, is what I had
Mm-hmm.
to get to the point to understand that
Right.
sometimes you got to let people go because I'm just a resource. I'm not the source. I'm letting
Right.
you go back to the source. I'm gonna tell you two things real quick, man. Y'all put a fire emoji if y'all enjoying this. But David, I was just telling my homeboy who called me last night a story about a hawk that went down and grabbed a snake. And when he went down and to grab the snake, it was a guy watching, and the hawk went up real high, and then the hawk started to sputter. The hawk started to sputter, and the guy was watching, and then the hawk hit the ground.
Mm.
And the guy ran over there trying to figure out why the hawk hit the ground. And when he got to the hawk, he turned the hawk over and he realized that the snake that he had picked up had bit him in his chest. And the reason that the hawk died is because instead of him, he didn't want to let go of something that he had picked up, but he didn't realize that the thing that he was carrying was actually killing him.
Mm.
And I realized that I kind of associated with the hawk because I realized that sometimes you can be so infatuated with holding on to something and not
Mm-hmm.
realize the thing that you hold on to is biting you in the chest and sucking the life out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to let people go. Dave, I'm sitting in Vegas. This was 2000, I would say
Right.
2019. I'm sitting in Vegas. I'm at Dre's. It's New Year's Eve.
Right.
Um, I'm by myself. Um, but I got a dance floor table at Dre's, and my tab 14,000, and I got a
Mm.
bunch of women at my table. I don't know none of these women. Um, I'm not really a drinker, and it was in that moment that I had an epiphany that man, I'm buying approval. I, I'm
Mm.
I'm buying celebration,
Mm.
and I don't want to do this anymore. I
Mm-mm.
don't want to do this anymore. So I understand when you get to that moment, when you get to that Damascus Road experience where you say, "I'm not going left, I'm going
Right.
right," and
Right. Right.
I no longer feel responsible to carry you where
Mm.
God is calling me.
Mm.
Somebody write that in the chat. I'm not going to
Mm.
carry you where God is calling me because that's not my responsibility.
Mm.
My responsibility is to get to where God wants me to be.
Mm.
And in effort to do that, what David Powertalk said is sometimes you got to
Mm.
separate.
Mm.
Sometimes you got to separate. Sometimes you got to isolate.
Mm.
Sometimes you got to self-medicate
Right.
and allow God to build you back up. Man, this
Right.
has been, Dave, this has been good, man. This has been good, man. Let me
Yes.
ask you a question. So, Dave, we got about 15 more minutes. Guys, I haven't been toxic like I always am because Dave got such a good energy, and I don't want to be too toxic,
Nah,
but
it's
you talked
okay,
about giving.
brother.
Oh, well, you gave me permission. All right, great.
Yes. Let's
You
go.
talked about giving back the keys. Some of these daughters can't get the keys because the man that got the keys been knocking the Mario coins out of them, and they don't realize that that man ain't good for them. Somebody type in the chat, get your keys back, baby. Get your keys back. That brother over there knocking the Mario coins out you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and the reason you don't want to let him go. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, my bad. Dave, what got you? Dave, what got you in the motivational speech? Look, everybody in the chat going, no, Dave, you don't even know what you just started. Uh,
Oh my God.
over there,
Yeah.
boing, boing, boing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dave, you ain't been able to hold us whole shit. Dave, what got you into speaking motivation and empowering people and encouraging people? Talk to me.
Wow. What got me into it? I got into it. I wouldn't say by accident because I felt like it was already inside of me for me to do it. But what happened was I was invited to career day for a school because I was, I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years. So, I worked as an engineer for 3 years and I started my own company. So a friend of mine, she was a principal at this, maybe an assistant principal at the school, and she said, "Listen, can you come talk to the kids? So they can see people like them from the same environment." But got a great story. I think it really gonna resonate. Do you mind coming for career day? I'm like, sure, no problem. So I'm thinking I'm coming to just talking to a classroom. It's the whole auditorium. I walk in, they give me the mic. They like, all right, bringing up David Solomon because I wasn't even David Power. Like I wasn't even calling myself David Powertalk then. David Solomon. And I'll tell everybody what makes a great communicator, a great speaker, is your vulnerability and being
That's
transparent.
right.
So the first thing I did, I remember this, and I still use it to this day. I said 1 out of 4 kids, fathers are not in their life. I said 1 out of 6 kids, parents are addicted to drugs or substance. Then I think they said over 2.7 million kids, whatever, either live with their grandparents or raised by their grandparents. And I said, well, this young man that's in front of you right now, I'm in each one of those categories. So the reason why I'm telling you guys that is because also outside of that category, I was the first one in my family to get my degree in engineering. I was the first one to start my own company. I was the first one to do X, Y, and Z. So what I want to tell you is that you're not a product of your environment, but you're a product of your choices.
Come on.
Your environment does not dictate exactly um, who you are or what you stand for? And I heard somebody say something about they thought that was a bunch of crap, that you're not a product of your environment, you're not you're not a product of your environment, but you're a product of your choices. They thought it was vice versa. And I disagree with that. The reason why I disagree with that is because I was living in a trailer park where I'm watching fiends, I'm watching crackheads, I'm watching people coming out the trailer. I was in the middle of New Jersey in the projects, and I'm watching stolen cars, I'm watching gangs, I'm watching all these different things. But I got a group of friends of mine, same environment. They became doctors. I became an engineer. I started my own company. But then I got other friends, same environment. They got locked up. Either they dead or what happened. They did bad things. So you mean to tell me that my environment is the thing that made me do the thing I had to do? Or was it the choice I made when I was in the environment? Now it's up to you to be inspired by the environment to say I can do better.
Come on.
Or I'm gonna do some of the things that the higher percentage of the people are doing in the environment. Because if that's the case, if I put you in an environment with nothing but millionaires, that means you need to be a millionaire in about 6 months. It's
Come
not
on.
gonna happen unless you make the right choices. Unless you are dedicated, unless you are disciplined, unless you do the things that you need to do. So I can put you either in a room of millionaires, or I can put you in a project like Jay-Z and you become a
Come
billionaire.
on.
So you let me know right now, are you a product of your environment, or are you a product of your choices that you make? So when I talk to the kids, I let them know, I said, listen, I understand. Listen, when you're born, you look like your daddy and your mama. But when you leave this earth, you look like your choices. The choices we make today, the choices we make every day, is what you got to live with when
Yeah.
you leave this earth. So don't work on that resume. You work on that obituary.
That's good, man. That's good, man. I'm glad you said that. Keon Henderson is a good friend of mine, and he always says, man, that you're born looking like your parents, but you die looking like your decisions.
Mm.
And so you're saying, man, that hey, you went in and you inspired. Ain't that amazing? Did y'all hear this brother's story? This brother went from losing everything. Can you hear me?
Okay. I hear you now. Go ahead. I hear you
Okay.
now. Go ahead.
Okay. I said you went from contemplating suicide to encouraging the next generation in an auditorium full of students. Right?
Yeah.
Some
True story.
somebody do me a favor and type in the chat quick work. God to do a quick work. God,
He
when you
will. He
yield to
will.
God, He will do a quick work. He'll do a quick
Yes.
turnaround, and He will show you what. Can I tell y'all something, David? This wasn't even part. I want to just talk to somebody. I want to talk to somebody that have kind of found themselves where me and Dave was talking about. You do understand, and I know Carlton Young said this last week. He said that pressure is a privilege. You
Mm.
do understand that the only reason the enemy is putting pressure on you and fighting against you is because he sees what's in you,
Mm.
right? And so the one thing that he can do to stop you from manifesting your purpose is getting you to quit.
Mm.
You can win if you don't quit. You
Mm.
can win if you don't give up. Look at David. He was David Solomon, but he
Mm.
came out David Powertalk.
Yes,
I said
sir.
he went into the garage as David Solomon, but he came out David Powertalk. It
Yes.
reminds me, guys, and I'm sorry, I got a little excited, but it reminds me of when Jacob was wrestling with the angel. And the Bible said that as Jacob wrestled with that nature, he wrestled and the angel had to break him. And not only did he break him, but then he changed his name to Israel.
Mm.
And so your garage experience was a similar experience to what Jacob experienced with wrestling with the angel.
Mm.
That he came out and he changed his name.
Mm.
David Power Talk, the way you encourage people and empower people. And listen, as a man, I'm saying, brother, in my darkest hours, I used to watch some of your videos
Wow.
on TikTok. It
Wow.
would come up, and I would just be like, man,
Mm.
this brother don't even know he's speaking light to me. And the
Wow.
fact that a voice of life in one season was contemplating death
Mm.
is a testament to the power of God and to you leveling up. And I'm glad that you
Mm.
shared that, because I just want to encourage somebody watching. The reason you cannot
Mm.
quit is because God is not a respecter of person. If he can do it for David Solomon and turn
Yep.
him to David Power Talk, he can do it for you and for you.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody just type in the chat, he can do it for me too. He, he
Yeah.
can he can do that for me as well, because God said, I ain't a respecter of person. I got a blessing for your life, and the purpose on your life is greater than the pain that you're experiencing in the present.
Mm.
Come on, David, man. You just,
Listen,
brother, you go ahead, man.
I want to listen, man. I'm gonna leave you guys with this, man. Allow yourself to open up the gift that God has given you. The reason why I'm
Mm,
saying that, because when he said that, I think this is the first time I really took a moment and tried to think about the first time I started really like putting out videos and speaking the word. And I know I went to the school, but it takes something inside of you to say, not only just do it once, but to really, really do it. Like to really say, no, like I'm going full steam ahead. Because what's so crazy about it, when I really start doing it, is that a lot of my peers, a lot of my friends, my associates, they was like, "What are you doing? What are you talking like? What you trying to encourage everybody? You a pastor now?" And remember, there's a little truth behind every joke, right?
better believe it. Better believe it.
No, there's a little truth behind every joke. So I would see some of my close friends, and they would be like, "What's going on, Pastor David?" or whatever, and I laugh, and I'm saying, but I haven't seen not one comment or one share or one like, but you calling me pastor. You see what I'm saying? So you're evidently you're watching what I'm doing, but you're not supporting what I'm doing.
That's right.
So, but it was just confirmation I was on the right path. Because what happens when you're on the right path, sometimes people are seeing things inside of you that they wish they could be doing, and then you become a threat.
Come on, man. I say that all
And
the time. Keep
and when
talking.
people and what happens is that when they feel like you're a threat, now they look at you as the enemy. Now they look at you like you doing something. Oh, you think you too good? No, I'm just saying that I'm embracing the thing that I want to do, and you should be embracing the thing that you want to do. It's never a competition. It's always a collaboration. If we get on, look at me and my brother. We right here at the same. As soon as he called me, I picked the phone right up. Matter of fact, when he called me, I texted him and I said, as soon as I'm finished, I'm gonna hit you right back. And
Right on.
I hit him right back, and then we on here and we talking about doing some big things for 2025. But this is what it's all about. Even when we first time met in person, it's all about us working
Yeah.
together because it's bigger than me and him. I'm gonna say this to everybody right now. Your pain, your vision, whatever God put inside of you, right? It's bigger than you. You're not doing this for you. You're not doing this for you. I'm not doing this for me. You're doing this for the people that you haven't even met yet. People that people that's going to hear your voice, they're going to hear your story. And even if you're not a speaker, you're not a coach, whatever it is, you could be somebody. Like for instance, I just moved to a different state, right? Because I used to live in like New Jersey, of course. Now I'm not talking bad about Jersey. I love my hometown, but now I live down in the southern area, and now I'm in the southern area. Everybody's so nice. Like everybody, hey, how you doing? Hey, good day. Hey, like my neighbors, like everybody is speaking and talking. And what's happening is that I'm realizing that energy is contagious. Cause now I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling how people are treating each other, and that's what we got to do. So no matter if you're hearing this right now on this live, tomorrow be that example. Walk in your office and smile. Tell somebody good morning. Ask somebody how you doing. Wave to them. Like we gotta learn how to treat people better so they can treat other people better. Because now by them treating me better, now even when somebody do try to treat me wrong, I don't fight darkness with darkness, like Martin Luther King said, right? We don't do that. Shed light and push that darkness out. So I just want to end with that, man. Just tell people at the end of the day, man, I know there's a purpose inside of you. There's a calling, there's a gift. But right now, you might be struggling on trying to open up that gift or to embrace that gift. And as he was talking to me, I remember I almost was discouraged. I almost stopped. Like I took a year off of social media. I took a whole year off. Like I closed my page down and everything. Like I was just I was going through it. I just stopped, But then when I opened it back up, it was like people was like, "Oh my God, I miss you so much. Thank you so much." So I really do believe that everybody has a purpose inside of them, and you need to tap into your purpose.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, Dave, man, I wanna appreciate you. Let me say this, guys, real quick before we get ready to get up out of here. Y'all make sure y'all follow David Powertalk. He is an inspirational brother, such a good heart. I noticed as he was talking, there is a distinct difference between us because he said he don't fight fire with fire, and I'm gonna slap the piss out of him. You talk crazy to me, so that's why me and him. That's why y'all should follow him first, then me second. He's Martin. I got a little Malcolm. The Lord ain't delivered me all the way yet. You talk crazy to me, I'm a chin check you. I'm just telling you that right now, and I enjoy doing it. God ain't delivered. Y'all pray for me, okay? So y'all follow David Power Talk. Follow him first. I need to be your backup follow, okay?
Right.
If you need prayer and encouragement, go to David. If you need some gorillas, come to me, okay? Just tell you that right now. But um,
Oh,
I'm
man,
sorry.
crazy,
I'm sorry.
man. I
Um,
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
anyway, Dave, I see my brother. Y'all, I'm excited because my brother Anthony O'Neill was on here. He's gonna be here on with me on Monday. Um, but he said, man, we're gonna be doing some stuff together in 2025, man. We got a conference we're putting together. But I want you to tell the people, man, what do you got next, man? I know you got your coaching program, you
Mm,
got your book getting ready to come out, man. Talk to me,
yes.
bro.
Yes. Yes. So actually, it's crazy. I'm glad you said that, man. I've been I've been heavy in like Tom Brady mode, like I in Kobe mode. Like I love studying great people. And what I realized, in order for you to reach a different level of whatever it is that you're doing, you have to go into in a season of preparation, a season of learning, a season of being able to absorb as much knowledge about your craft and getting better. So this weekend I'm speaking and I'm hosting the whole credit summit this weekend in Atlanta. So and last year, and this is why I'm gonna pay attention to everybody. There is a bigger opportunity that's waiting for you right now. Like there's an opportunity, there's a door waiting on you right now, right? But what happens, the only way you're gonna get this opportunity if you max out on the current opportunity that you have right now. If you give it everything you got right now, God is going to open up that next door, that next opportunity. Because the credit summit that I'm speaking at this weekend, I actually spoke there last year for only 20 minutes. I just spoke there last minute, 20 minutes. And actually, when I spoke, I just set up a table, and I didn't even charge him a speaker fee, right? Because it was him and I got a relationship, right? So I spoke for 20 minutes, but I went there like he's paid me $1 million, and I poured my heart out to the people. Now he called me almost a year later. Hey, listen, Power Talk, I need you back. But not only I need you speaking, I need you to
Come
host
on.
also too. And so send me over your speaker requirements, your fee, flight, hotel, whatever it is. We gonna do this. Because I only want you, right? So the reason I'm telling people this is because I want you to understand this, right? Is that the only reason I was able to get this opportunity that I got this weekend is because I maxed out that last opportunity over a year ago, and the things that I was doing between that last year and now, I kept maxing out each day between content, between speaking, between tours, between all the things that they were saying me, because you never know who's watching. So he would say something key to me when him and I was talking. He said, "No, I've been watching what you're doing. I've been seeing your content. I see what you're speaking. I see what you're doing. I see your impact." He said, "I want you to bring that element to my conference. I want you to bring that presence of God, that presence of your message. I want you to bring David Powertalk. I don't want you to be nobody else but you." So I want to just, so just to answer your question, yes, this weekend I got that going on. Following weekend, I'm speaking at M500 event. And then November, I'm actually going to London to speak. So I got my first international speaking engagement over in London, the first week in November. So I'm excited for that. It's something totally new for me to be, over what they say, over the pond or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, man, I got that, and I got my mastermind coming up. Well, I was having it on November 9th in Miami, but I'm just trying to see what happens with this hurricane, how bad it kind of hits Florida or whatever, because they might need some time to kind of, even though I know it's not hitting right in Miami, but still, I know that whole region, that area might be a little bit, of course, trying to pull things together. So I might push it back a few weeks or maybe January. So I want to see how everything happens, man. But yeah, man, I'm just staying busy with that. And I'm just grateful, brother, for where I'm at right now. I'm
Well,
grateful.
man, listen, I want to celebrate you, man, and it's fascinating that for those that have been watching this the whole series, man, do y'all see the connectivity None of these people have spoken to each other, but everything is connecting. Because Laterrence Whitfield on Monday, he talked about how his podcast, when it started out really small, now he's got over 500,000 subscribers. You just talked about how you went to a conference, you didn't charge the man, but you showed up in a spirit of excellence. And because you sowed a seed of excellence, when the Bible says it is that God gives seed to the sower, right? And so because you sowed that seed, now the next year, not only are you getting paid, but you're hosting it. God opened up doors for you to go overseas, man. And so part of leveling up is once God does open up doors, to remember to give back, to remember
Mm.
to, don't get the big head, right?
Right,
See,
right.
that's the problem with me. I got the big head. See, I'd have charged the brother, man. Run me my check, okay? Oh, what you talking about? No, okay, I'm just kidding, yeah. I'm just kidding. Run my money. All right. So David, do you got a few minutes for like two
Yeah, yeah,
questions? I want I want
of course,
Okay,
of
cool. So
course.
we gonna
I
ask the
got you.
question because he got to get to his family, and I feel my my toxicity is coming up. The longer we talk, the more I want to be toxic. So guys, if you got a question for David Power Talk, I want y'all to put it in the chat real quick. If you have been enjoying this conversation, man, do me a favor, just put a fire emoji in the chat. Make sure you follow David, and listen. He didn't ask for this. I'm going to ask you to do this. When we end this live, will you send him a message and say, man, keep going. You bless me. Recite something that he said. Because believe it or not, he was telling the truth. Sometimes when you do these things, you pour out, you can leave feeling empty. And it
Right,
feels good to open up the inbox
right.
and see that it was worth it. All right?
Right, right. And
David.
just for let people know, for some reason I can't see none of the comments or who's on the live or nothing. So if anybody's been on here, if you've been whatever comments, whatever you've been saying, I couldn't see it. So I don't want nobody to think I was trying to ignore them. Anybody that came in that I knew or whatever, but for some apparent reason, I only could just see me and my brother. But I'll let God handle the rest of that.
It's all good, man. We appreciate that. Anybody got a question for David? And y'all know if y'all don't type it quickly, I'm gonna tell you,
Right,
you ain't
right.
got to go home.
And if you don't got a question for me, put in the live right now. What's one thing that you're grateful for?
Mm.
Like, what's one thing this moment that you are grateful for right now? Just put that in the live. Like, even if you don't have a question, just put in the live. Just put just what's that one thing that you saying, man, I am grateful for this. I am grateful for that. So just put that in the live. I can't see it, but put it in there.
Yeah, somebody said for life.
Mm.
Uh, somebody said for yams. Uh, somebody said God's keeping power.
Mm.
Somebody said life as well. Yeah, so
Yeah.
my heartbeat. Christy Chatham said my heartbeat.
Mm.
Kara said she grateful she woke up. All right, man. I see you with the gratefulness.
Mm.
All right. Thank you, this beautiful live. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all, man. Listen, it is where he's at. It is what, 9:49.
Yes, sir.
Somebody said David is my coach. All right, Alice the
Oh,
goat.
Alice, that's Alice. What's going on, Alice? Alice, I can't see your name, but yeah, she's in my mentorship also too. Listen, guys, listen. If you listen, I help people become speakers. I help people with their content. I help people get out their way and their mindset. So yeah, she's part of my community, and I'm so inspired to see people turn their pain into power.
Can you
Like really, like
can you see that question?
mm,
Can you see that?
no, I can't see
All
nothing.
right, so we got a question real quick. It says, "Did you always believe you would be doing what you're doing today?"
No. There was a time the only thing I wanted to do, I remember it was so funny. I was whoever I was dating back then. I used to ride motorcycles, right? So they used to call me D Block. So I used to ride motorcycles. I was the president of my bike club,
Man, what kind
and I used to love.
what kind of bike did you
Oh
ride?
man, I was a beast, man. I had 1,000. I had listen. I had a full exhaust. I had the air filters. I had everything on that puppy. I used to go to the track. I used to race. So we used to go to bike week all the time. So I remember I told somebody at the time. I said, "Listen, the only thing I want to do is make money and go to bike week. That's it, right?" So at that moment of my life, what I'm doing now was nowhere on the radar at all. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing to be a
Ah,
biker. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to live life. I'm not saying that, but I feel like that if somebody was to ask me if I was put back in that moment, me, Myrtle Beach, me with the vest on, me with the bike, me going around, like just having, just enjoying life, right? There's nothing wrong with that. It was nowhere on my radar to be a motivational speaker, nowhere on my radar to help people turn their pain into power. I had to literally probably had to go through what I went through to probably birth the man you see right now, right? Was to bring out the purpose inside of me. So everybody got their own journey, but no, to answer your question, I never knew. Like, and I think that's what happened with a lot of people that knew me, because between college, high school, bike club, all that stuff, nobody's seen this coming. Like nobody's seen this coming. Like when we talk about toxic, I was
Oh,
toxic.
I know. I see it. Trust me. I see the residue of toxicity. That's why
Yes,
we connect.
yes, it was, yeah,
Hey,
D block was a
hey,
problem. D
here
block
go
was
the
a
crazy
problem.
thing, man. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on live, but I was part of a motorcycle group as well.
Okay.
My club name, they called me Prophet. I used to ride a Hayabusa. That's why I asked you what type of
Okay.
bike you
Well,
rode.
you was a booster
I
man.
was I was
Okay.
a
Yeah,
booster
you
man,
that
so
quarter mile.
I was getting down through there.
Yeah, that boost ain't no joke. That boost ain't no
I
joke. Woo,
was getting down
1300.
through there, baby. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got one more question. One more question, and then we go get ready. How can us as women really help our men?
Mm.
Be quiet,
Lord.
number one. Okay, I'm sorry. Go
Hold
ahead.
on. We about this. This might be a whole different episode right now, right? Um, you know what? Pay attention to what he's doing when he's not around you, because a lot of strong men are not letting you in enough to let you know what they're dealing with. So therefore, sometimes it's hard for you to really be able to help that man. But however, helping him could mean don't put added pressure on him, but also to make sure that you are there in a way that's not adding on to what maybe he already has. And not saying you're doing it intentionally. I believe that, you know, sometimes things happen and it's not an intentional thing that you're doing. But however, if you know that man may be dealing with a lot of different things, you have to figure out what makes him tick. Like you gotta figure out, what is that thing that actually, um that give him that spark. But what's that thing also too to bring him down to that dark moment as you close to him. So to help him out, sometimes you just gotta be an ear. Or sometimes you just gotta be like, you need anything? And then if he say no, no problem. I'm here if you need me. That's all you gotta do, because then we know that you're there and we're going to come to you when we really need you. But I would just say pay attention to the signs, and don't overthink it. Don't think that we don't need you because we're not talking to you. It's just we're trying to figure out our own way how to deal with it.
That's good, man. You know that brother is so healthy. That was such a good answer. I mean, man, he is such a positive brother. Cause y'all know, you know, I'm, I'm gonna tell you how you can help me, okay? But I ain't gonna. David, you got too many of your people coming in and out. I ain't gonna show my side today. But all I'm gonna say is Psalms 34:8. Dave, you got your Bible with you?
No, I got it with me.
Okay. Somebody read. I'm gonna tell you how can us as women really help our men? Somebody read Psalm 34:8. And that's how you can help us as men. You want me to tell you what it say, David?
What do it say?
Taste and see. All right, y'all. It's been real, man. My brother David Powertalk has been on the show with me, man. I appreciate this brother, man. David, man, it's always love to you. Y'all know I
Yes.
had to end with a little toxicity, okay?
Yeah, I love it, brother. I love it. I
But
love it. I
Dave,
love
man,
it.
we appreciate you, man. Dave, how soon before your book come out, bro?
Probably spring of next
Spring
year. It should be
next
out.
year. All
Yes.
right, man. We praying for your conference, man. We praying for, you said the credit conference.
Credit
What is it
Summit.
called?
It's the
The
Credit Summit.
credit summit.
Yeah. So I'm the host, and I'm speaking twice at the Credit Summit. So thank you for the prayers, brother. I can't
No,
wait.
we got Got you, man. We appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Get to your family, man. We love you, man. I'm gonna tap in with
Love
you
you
after
too.
this, all right?
All right, sounds
All right,
good,
that's a
brother.
bet, bro.
Appreciate you. All
All
right.
right, one. All right, y'all. So listen, man, it's been real, man. Y'all do me a favor. Y'all make sure y'all follow my brother, the David Powertalk, man. That's a solid brother, man. And man, this has been an amazing series, man. We've had Miss Monica Morton, the starter of the song. We had Carlton Young, Laterrence Whitfield. And tonight, man, we're ending the week with my brother David Powertalk, an amazing brother. I wasn't going to share his story, but I knew that he would. This brother said he contemplated suicide. And because he did not commit suicide and he trusted God, he is blessing millions of people right now as we speak, getting ready to go overseas and take his gift. Can I tell somebody real quick, man, that the Level Up series is really about inspiring you to be the best version of you. You cannot quit. You cannot throw in the towel. You cannot give up on who God has called you to be. As a matter of fact, I don't want you to give up, but I want you to level up. All right, so listen, next Monday, my good brother Anthony O'Neal will be with us. So next week we got Anthony O'Neal and we got my brother Adrian Davis that will be right here on the Level Up series. Y'all, I'm telling you, it's about to go down. If y'all like this, if y'all enjoyed this, do me a favor, shoot me an inbox, say, Cory, man, I appreciated the show. Tell your friends every Monday and Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to be right here in the building. I appreciate y'all, man. Listen, we out.